I made $180,000 a year at my last job. Now, 10 months after being laid off, I'm driving Uber to make ends meet. Why? Why didn't I have more in savings? Inquiring minds want to know. Saving money has always felt impossible for me, and it wasn't just about willpower or bad habits. Something deeper was at play, something that took me years to understand. Once I finally did, it completely changed how I see my past and how I'm rebuilding my life now. After years of therapy and some hard won life lessons, here's what I've learned. Mental health and money are the most toxic couple of all time, and the struggle is way more common than anyone talks about. Let's unpack the truth behind mental health and saving money so you can stop beating yourself up and start seeing the bigger picture. Before we start, I want to make absolutely abundantly clear that I am not a financial or mental health professional. I am just here sharing my experiences. This video touches on sensitive topics like mental health issues and suicidal ideation. If that's tough for you right now, it's okay to step away. And if you're struggling, please, please, please reach out to someone who can help you. This isn't a budgeting tutorial or a 5 steps to save $20,000 kind of video. It is real talk about why mental health and money don't mix well and why saving can feel absolutely impossible and completely unimportant when you're managing mental health challenges. If you've ever looked at your bank account and felt that sinking mix of guilt and shame, you are not alone. A lot of us have been there or are still there. This is a cautionary tale, but it's not about regret. It's about understanding why this happens, how mental health plays into it, and why it's not something to feel ashamed about. Before we go deeper into my story, let's talk about how mental health messes with money. All right. Conditions like depression, anxiety, ADHD, or PTSD can wreck your ability to plan, focus, and follow through. And we don't talk about that enough. It's real, and one of the reasons that saving money is so much harder than people realize. When you're mentally exhausted, your brain doesn't have the bandwidth to prioritize financial tasks. It's not laziness. It's not a matter of being bad with money. It's that mental health issues make even the smallest things feel insurmountable. Studies show that mental health struggles directly impact your executive function, the part of your brain that's supposed to help you plan and take action. And when that's off, things like paying bills, setting up a budget, or thinking about retirement can feel like you're climbing a mountain in molasses. When you're mentally exhausted, your brain simply can't give financial tasks the priority that they need. And let's be clear, mental health struggles and financial stress feed off of each other, each one making the other one worse. Financial problems add to anxiety, and then the anxiety makes it harder to manage your financial problems. It becomes this exhausting cycle. Okay? People with mental health challenges are more likely to fall behind on bills, rack up debt, and struggle to save. Then there's emotional spending. You're not feeling well, so you buy something to feel better. That little dopamine hit feels like a win in the moment, but it's temporary. It's like slapping a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Retail therapy is basically me saying, my brain is broken, so I'm going to buy this throw pillow to fix it. And surprise, it doesn't fix it. But hey, now I have 18 throw pillows and no savings, so there's that. The truth is, mental health and money have this toxic relationship where one constantly drags the other down. And unless we acknowledge that, it is so easy to slip into this spiral of shame, thinking that it's all your fault. Now that we've covered why mental health and money don't play well together, let me show you how this played out in my life. My childhood was mostly spent in poverty, and it's not the kind of poverty, where it was like, oh, I think we're going to have to skip the family vacation this year, kids. No. I'm talking about eating out of a Burger King dumpster while my biological mother was passed out high, kind of poor. Now, that kind of poor does something to you. It doesn't just shape you, it warps you. It lights a fire under you to escape, to prove that you're more than what you came from, but it also screws with how you think about money for the rest of your life. When I finally started making good money, it felt like freedom to me. I spent money because I could, and for the first time in my life, no one could tell me otherwise. Growing up in survival mode with constant anxiety, it made sense that when I finally had money, I didn't know how to hold on to it. There was like this constant need to buy something, anything, just because I wanted it, just because I could. I never learned how to save because I was stuck trying to survive emotionally. No one talks about how hard it is to save when you're constantly battling your brain's need for comfort. Because when you're trying to survive, everything else feels absolutely irrelevant. But here's the truth. I wasn't saving because I wasn't thinking about my future. How could I? When you live with depression and anxiety, when suicidal ideation has been a part of your daily mental landscape since you were 17 years old, the idea of a future feels unattainable. For most of my life, I didn't think I'd live past my 20s. I honestly didn't. Every depressive episode, every panic attack, it felt like it was just a matter of time before I couldn't fight anymore. This might sound dark, but it's the truth of where I was. I just assumed that the next breakdown would be the last breakdown. I spent so much time fighting just to survive, I never stopped to think about what survival even looked like or what it would cost me financially. I never saw this version of myself. Never did I see this life, my husband, my home, my dog. Never. Suicidal ideation isn't just about a plan. It's a relentless, cruel voice in the back of your head telling you, what's the point? You're not worth it. None of this even matters. And that voice doesn't just stay in your thoughts. It controls everything, every decision, every action, even how you handle something as basic and as important as your money. So I spent money in the moment. And looking back, I can see that I was trying to feel something, feel anything, joy, control, relief. Spending wasn't a coping mechanism I consciously thought about. It just became my default. If something made me happy in the moment, I bought it. I bought it just because I wanted to enjoy life while I was still here. Now, that's a hard thing to admit, and it's a brutal thing to say, but I didn't think I'd live long enough to need to save money. It sounds horribly and deeply disturbed, but it's the reality for so many people living with mental health challenges, even if they can't put it into words. I didn't have credit card bills piling up. I didn't rack up any debt. I just liked buying things. I liked buying clothes. I liked buying dinners out. I liked buying tech. Whatever made me happy in the moment. Did I know it was connected to my mental health? No, not really. I just thought, I'm working my ass off here. I'm making money. Why shouldn't I enjoy it? And do I regret it now? No, I don't think the right word is regret, but understanding my behavior has been crucial. It's not about justifying my past, it's about learning from it. I've had to face hard truths about how my mental health shaped my choices, and now I'm working to build a healthier, more stable foundation. Mental health care isn't just about therapy or medication, right? There's little costs that pile up too. Lost work days, spending extra money on convenience because you're too mentally drained to deal with anything, or throwing money at things just to make life easier for just a moment. It's what I call the anxiety tax. The anxiety tax is what happens when survival mode comes with the price tag, right? Therapy, meds, convenience spending, all of these things kept me afloat, but they drain me financially. There's never a sale with the anxiety tax. There's never a discount. Ever. Everything's full price. I was over here spending $50 on a delivery for a meal that cost $10 just because I'd rather eat overpriced food than make the effort to plan and cook a meal. That's the anxiety tax, spending money to survive the day because your brain won't let you handle what should be normal. It's like paying extra just to keep your head above water, but the water never stops rising. All of this, the cost, the decisions, the survival mode, it brought me back here. I'm back in a place that I thought I'd left behind forever. It's like being in my 20s again without the hot bod and good skin. Starting out with nothing, paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure out which bill gets paid and which one has to wait. Do I pay the electric bill or do I buy groceries? That's what this feels like again. When I was in my 20s, being broke was almost expected, right? Like it was some kind of rite of passage or something. But now, in my 50s, it's a slap in the face. It's a gut punch, a cruel joke. It feels like a punishment I don't deserve. You work your whole damn life to escape that paycheck to paycheck grind only to find yourself right back in it. And let me tell you, it feels like crap. This isn't just a financial restart for me. It's an emotional one too. And right now, I'm just trying to survive both. I need to continually remind myself that being here again doesn't mean I failed. On the contrary, I'm a success story because I'm still here. I'm not saving right now. I can't. I'm still trying to get caught up. I'm still trying to figure out how to rebuild. And I'll be honest, some days it feels like I'll never get there. Now, I owe so much, if not everything, to my husband, more than words can say. He has been my rock through all of this, but every time he tells me it's okay, part of me feels like I'm failing him. I want to be an equal partner in this marriage, right? I want to carry my weight. And right now, I don't feel like I am. There's this constant voice in my head whispering, "You're a burden." That feeling eats away at me in ways that I didn't expect. This isn't just about money. It's very, very hard to reconcile the person that I was with the person that I am now and the person that I'm becoming. I don't have all the answers yet. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm a delightful work in progress. But let me tell you, if you are out there feeling the same way, if you are waking up every day wondering how you're going to make it work, you are not alone. This is hard. This is humbling. It's infuriating. But let me tell you, it's okay to be angry about it, to feel broken by it, but it's not the end, so don't live there in that feeling. Here's the truth. I will be okay. Even if I'm not okay right now, I know I'll get through it. If there's one thing I've learned in my 54 years, it's that I'm too stubborn to fail completely. Resilience is just basically getting back up because you're pissed at life for knocking you down. It's kind of like revenge. There's no shame in being where I am. And there's no shame if you're here too. Life doesn't care about your plans or your paycheck. It hits, and sometimes it hits hard. But there's no manual for this, no single right way to figure it out. If life has knocked you down, I hope that this story reminds you that resilience isn't about perfection. It's about grit. Even when it feels like you're spinning your wheels, you are still moving forward. And trust me, moving forward is a freaking win. Understanding how mental health affects money is just one part of the puzzle. Rebuilding means facing setbacks that challenge your sense of worth and learning to silence that voice that says that you're not enough. That lesson has been key in how I'm rebuilding my life, and I show you how to do that here. Missing it might mean missing a perspective that can change how you see your own challenges.